I don't think there's a team in the NBA that has undergone more of a roster overhaul in the past year than the Phoenix Suns. They traded for Kevin Durant, they moved off of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, they got Brad Beal in there along the way too. So with a new big three of Devin Booker, Durant, and Beal, the Suns spent the rest of the summer filling out the roster with players they could sign to small contracts to complement their stars. And one dude who I think is going to exceed expectations, let's call him the new Arizona Unicorn. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Bol Bol. How's it going, guys? My name is Troy, and this is the Half Court Report. Please do me a favor, click that thumbs up button to help more people find this video, and click subscribe too so you never miss an NBA video. I'm posting several times a week about anything and everything basketball. Bol Bol has always been an intriguing prospect, even dating back to his days in high school. But when he came into the NBA in 2019, everything changed. But Bol is more than just a sideshow attraction. At 7'2", he possesses guard-like skills with the ability to create off the dribble and shoot from the outside. And I don't know what it is, but freakishly tall players always garner lots of interest. Like if he makes a special play or a cool dunk, it's all over social media. Add to that, he's got one of the best names in professional sports. And his dad was 7'7", human pencil and Nike's Manute Bol, who played 10 years in the NBA. So Bol Bol has an amazing story, but he also has legitimate talent. And I think the Suns could finally be the team to help him realize his full potential. Bol spent the first 3 years of his career with the Denver Nuggets, and he barely played. In 3 seasons, he only appeared in 53 games. He was eventually traded and wound up with the Orlando Magic, and he had a bit of a mini breakout last year for that team. He got a huge chance to showcase his talents due to injuries to other players, and he was great when he was on the court. He was so fun to watch, too. In those 37 games where Bol got legit minutes, he averaged 12 points, over 7 rebounds, and a block and a half a game. He shot nearly 50% from the field and almost 40% from three. Unfortunately, though, his role, playing time, and his production went down through his final 33 games when the rest of the team was healthy. But we do have a pretty solid sample size, and Bol proved what he's capable of doing when he's given the chance to play. And with the Suns, I think he's going to have an edge when competing with the other players they have gunning for those backup minutes in the front court. And that's because of his untapped potential. There's nobody like Bol Bol on the Phoenix Suns roster. And as a basketball fan, it's hard to look at Bol and not be intrigued by what you see. Like I said, 7'2", freak athlete, guard-like skills, but he's a very capable ball handler. He can create his own shot off the dribble, and he's really good in transition. And you may have heard the soundbite from ESPN's Kendrick Perkins when he predicted Bol Bol would be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year this season. Now, I'm going to pump the brakes on that, but the one immediate impact Bol can make through his size and movement is contesting, altering, and blocking shots. He isn't going to lock anybody up on the perimeter or really bang down low with some of those more traditional big men, but he makes up for that with how long of a player he is. Phoenix doesn't have a ton of rim protection in terms of shot blocking on its roster, so when you have a guy like Bol Bol as a secondary line of defense at the rim, that's going to come in very handy. His weak side rim protection and ability to contest nearly anything in front of him adds immediate value on that end of the floor. And I'm pretty confident that Coach Frank Vogel will be working very hard to find the best way to optimize Bol's skill set on not only the offensive end, but the defensive end too. And I think it would get very interesting for that Phoenix roster when you utilize him along with Kevin Durant as rim protectors, while you have a more traditional center such as Jusuf Nurkic or Drew Eubanks, and then you have that 3 big man lineup patrolling the interior at all times. And they'd all have different roles, too. The hope is for Bol Bol to get cleaner looks in an offensive system that allows him to do less. So that alone should give him a positive bump in efficiency. The next step, of course, will be hitting that three-pointer at a more consistent rate. And let's talk about how Bol Bol can really push the pace, too. This man can dribble for a guy who is 7'2". And he's not going to initiate the offense all the time. I'm not calling him Point Bol or anything. but he can grab that rebound, take it the length of the floor. He did that a ton in Orlando last year. And there just aren't too many guys his size that have the ability to do that. So if he puts it all together, there is a pathway for him to be a matchup nightmare for the opposing team. But I am very excited to see him playing for Frank Vogel. Before DeAndre Ayton was traded away to the Portland Trail Blazers, there were reports about how excited Vogel was to coach Ayton and unlock that part of his game that previous Phoenix coaches weren't able to do. So I think the same could be said for Bol Bol. When asked about his approach to coaching big men and what his philosophy is, Vogel said, "You've got to give those big guys the ball sometimes. When they get it, they'll run through the wall for you on the other end." And I think Bol Bol especially needs that kind of motivation. When he was actually part of that team in Orlando, he was awesome on the floor. And with that ultra-talented Phoenix roster, the ball isn't going to be in Bol's hands for an extended amount of time, but what he can offer is his length and his overall skill level. Now, that usage may come in the lob department with passes flying above the rim. It may come from driving plays from Devin Booker. It may come from inbound passes, lobs toward the paint. He's still just 23 years old. He is far from a finished product, and he's still developing in multiple facets of his game. Guys, remember, he was the number 4 ranked player coming out of high school for a reason. The talent is there, and he's continuing to get better. And let's just face it, it takes some guys a little bit longer to adjust to the NBA. Bol is going to be fine. So it's just all about him putting that together consistently. And I think that's something that Phoenix is going to be able to help him do. His minutes may come in small doses at first, but if he makes the most of those opportunities that he's given, there is definitely room for an expanded role. He could even be a starter soon. But regardless, he is in the perfect situation with the Phoenix Suns. That's what I think, but be sure to let me know in the comments what you expect from Bol Bol this season. And show him some love in the comments too. I know he would appreciate reading everyone's words of support. Since you've watched this far, be sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. Click that subscribe button too so you never miss another NBA video. And speaking of young players I'm excited to see this season, the Golden State Warriors have officially signed Usman Garuba to a 2-way contract. And this dude is nice. He was a first-round pick a couple of years ago. He is one of the best young defenders in the NBA. He runs the floor hard. He makes plays for others. And I think he's going to get lots of reps for this Warriors team. I did a whole video on him, so check that out. Let me know what you think. Have a great day, and I will catch you next time on the Half Court Report.